everyone. This is criminal profiler Pat Brown, and I want to do a little discussion of Death on the Nile because the new film has just come out. Now, there is a 1978 film, and this is the 2022 film. So we have some choices. I saw this one first, and then I went back and looked at this one, which you can see free if you just put it into Google. So now I'm not going to talk about whether they're great or not great films, whether the acting was good or bad. This is about profiling and about how people commit crimes. So, spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen these two, or at least read the book, Agatha Christie's book, if you haven't done that, stop right now. Come back to this, when you finish, because I'm going to ruin it right here, because I'm going to tell you what happened, and I'm going to tell you what I think is interesting about what happened, about how people would really probably kill somebody off, and maybe not so much in the style we see in this, in the movie and in the book. So, all right, so spoilers ahead. Okay, so if you just can't remember what the story was about, let me just make it really simple, and I'll have to read the names. Okay, so essentially what happens is there's a woman named Jacqueline de Belfort. She's called Jackie. We're going to stick with Jackie. She introduces her fiancé, Simon Doyle, to her childhood friend and heiress, Lynette Ridgway, in hopes of securing him some employment. So what happens is Simon and Lynette look into each other's eyes and fall madly in love immediately and kick Jackie to the curb. And so that's it. So the story starts out with Jackie gets dumped, and now Simon and Lynette, oh my goodness, they're going on their honeymoon in Egypt. And then the plot thickens, So they go to Egypt, they hang around in Cairo, they go to the pyramids, just for the amusement of it. I've been in Egypt twice. Wanted to do a Discovery Channel show on Cleopatra, and I also went back to do some research there. So let me show you the pyramids as they are today. Yes, through the Pizza Hut window. It's that close to civilization. I took this photo. Isn't that amazing? So those are the pyramids, and they're awesome. But yeah, they're pretty close to things, and they're not way out in the desert anymore. But anyway, so the Simon and Lynette, they go first to Cairo, and of course the creepy ex-girlfriend now, Jackie, keeps showing up. She's like, "Hello, here I am. Hello, here I am." And even to the point where here she is. She's popped up. These two have climbed up the pyramid. You see how you do that? You go up all the way up. You can't do that anymore, and they don't let you because of danger and stuff like that. So, but people used to climb up. And then this also is a picture of me. I'm there with my daughter. We're riding camels. That is not the Great Pyramid behind us. That's a different pyramid. But we're riding camels in the desert. I'm going to use this to go back to discuss the crimes. Okay. So now, anyway, they go through here, and then they do end up going to a number of other places in Egypt. I'm not going to get into that. Lovely places. I've been there. They're wonderful. But at any rate, they end up on this boat. Now, they're on the boat, and they think somehow that Simon and Lynette have slipped away from Jackie. They've done some clever thing, and now she's not going to be on this boat. But lo and behold, she is on the boat. So now Poirot is also on the boat as well. Of course, he's going to solve the crime. So now we have them all on the boat. And we see that Jackie seems to have lost her little mind, and she keeps stalking everybody, stalking her ex and the new wife, and making everybody uncomfortable. Meanwhile, the show says, nobody seems to like Lynette. She's like a horrible human being, and everybody on the ship wants to kill her, and everybody has an opportunity to kill her. So, yeah. So eventually she gets dead. But let's start with how she gets dead. So here we have Jackie. So Jackie is in the lounge, and her ex is there too, Simon. And she's like, "I've had it with you all." And she pulls out this gun, and she shoots Simon, and she hits him in the leg, and he's like, "Oh!" And he falls on a couch, and he's bleeding, and he's in agony. And she's like, "Oh my God, what have I done?" So he says to this woman, Simon says, take her back to her room, get her some help. So she's taken to a room and she's given medication by a nurse and sleeps out the night. Okay, so now during the time when Simon here, he's got a bullet in the leg, right? So when they get the doctor to come in, they pick up Simon and they wrap him up and they take him to his room. Well, during that time, lo and behold, Lynette gets shot in her bed. So now she's dead. But of course, she couldn't have done it because she was sedated at the time, and Simon couldn't have done it because he had a bullet in the knee, right? Okay, so that's the whole setup. And then lots of other people keep getting kicked off, and well, a couple. And meanwhile, even Poirot in this new version, he's in his boudoir, or whatever you want to call it, and he's getting ready. And all of a sudden, a cobra appears in there and almost kills him, but luckily somebody comes in and kills the cobra. Okay. Oh yeah, the two other major crimes. Let's see. Somebody who apparently might have seen something gets her throat slashed, and somebody else who's about to say what she had seen gets shot in the head. Okay, so lots of crimes. Okay, I'm not going to get into all the details of how amazingly difficult all of this would be. But I do want to say how amazingly difficult all of this would be. So let me back up. All right. The whole scenario with her and Simon this is all fake. She and Simon were in on it to kill his wife, and then that's all that was supposed to happen on the boat, you see. But then a couple people saw things, and so they had to kill 2 more people, at least. And the old version and the new version are slightly different, so I'm not going to get into their differences. But what really happened, you see, is that she actually didn't shoot Simon. She actually shot near Simon and hit like a table. And then after she was taken to the room, he wasn't really injured. You know why? Because he had stolen this, I guess from his wife's room, this nail polish, red nail polish, and he had put that on a handkerchief. It made it look like he had blood on his leg, and he screamed and screamed. And so the assumption was, while his ex was being taken to her stateroom, he was incapacitated. But he wasn't, and no one was watching. So he jumps up and he runs and he shoots his wife, and then he goes back and, get this, he lays down and then he actually shoots himself in the leg, so that when the doctor comes, there is a shot to his leg, to his knee actually, hitting the bone. And then, because a couple people saw things, apparently she then has no problem slashing a woman's throat. Even though she actually, she wasn't the one who killed Simon's wife, Lynette. She may have not liked her, supposedly, but she didn't kill her. She had him do it. So he was the killer. Well, all of a sudden now, this woman's running around slashing people's throats and shooting people in the head, and on top of that, putting a cobra in Poirot's room. So this woman is like, wow, she's like a serial killer, on steroids all of a sudden. And apparently has no problem with all these things because she loves that Simon, and Simon wanted the money that her ex-friend Lynette, who's now dead, had. Okay, so now that I've kind of gone through all of that as quickly as I can, what's wrong with this picture? All right, let's start over. We have the issue of the whole romance here. So she and Simon are a couple, and he wants money and she hasn't got any. So she sets up her friend with him, and lo and behold, boom, just like that, she has her friend fall in love with the man she's in love with. She doesn't care if they have sex and make love. Okay, she's a hardy girl. And so the idea is that he's going to collect her money if she dies. And then after his wife is killed, the two of them will go off into the sunset with the fortune. And she's willing to, overlook the sex stuff for just a little bit because she wants to make Simon happy, her love of her life happy, because he's going to get all this money from his dead wife, who apparently doesn't have enough sense to have some kind of protection on her money. But okay, that's the setup. Now, let's say these two really did want to kill off Lynette. They want to get rid of her so they can collect the money. Now, let's look at the methodology here. Now I know, okay, guys, Agatha Christie wrote books to be interesting. I never was an Agatha Christie fan. I will confess that, because Agatha Christie always, they were so convoluted, the crimes, and so, to me, they never really worked for me. And she always kind of left out information. So I'm like, wait a minute, you didn't tell me that. And now you toss it in there, and I'm supposed to have figured it out. I'm a Sherlock Holmes fan, totally a Sherlock Holmes fan. So I'm not overly fond of her books, but that's okay. So anyway, you write a book because you want it to be interesting, and if you always write reality, it could be boring. So I get it. So I'm okay with that concept. So at any rate, if you were doing things in a logical way, what would you do? Let's look at their plan. Their plan is they're going to get on the ship, and this is all going to go down on the ship. First of all, they have to carry a weapon. Okay? Secondly, I don't know what's wrong with Lynette, but Lynette is an heiress. And she was being stalked by that woman. She's being stalked. I'm sorry, but I'm not getting on a ship that allows anybody on. I'm going to rent a private boat to go down the Nile. There's a lot. I've been to Egypt. You can rent lots of boats going down the Nile. You can decide who you want on these boats. If somebody's stalking me and it's my honeymoon, I'm damn well going to have a boat that she can't get on. So right away, I'm like, really? That makes no sense. So Lynette is either really stupid or, or it's just a part of the movie. So anyway, they're on the boat now. They brought a gun. So the next thing that happens is they fake this whole shooting thing. And she shoots at him, but she doesn't. Here she is again. She's shooting at him. Over here. But she's not hitting him. So she's shooting a table. So first of all, they have to assume that she's an idiot and doesn't notice that the bullet actually never hit him. Because you would kind of think you would notice that she wasn't aiming that close. But anyway, he goes, ah! And he puts this handkerchief on his knee and screams, and there's red stuff. Well, I'm sorry, but I've never seen nail polish look like blood. So I don't know, it seems kind of ridiculous to me, but okay. So they fake this thing. And in faking this thing, everything has to work so intricately. When you're going to kill people, you don't want to make it that difficult because everything can go wrong. And in this case, everything did go wrong. So, okay, so he's screaming with his leg on the sofa. She's running. Now she's being taken away, so she can't be guilty, right? She's going to be under medication. She's supposedly safe at that point. He, meanwhile, runs back, shoots his wife, and runs back to lie down on that sofa and keeps screaming. So he has to make sure nobody sees him. But guess what? Somebody did. So, you see, it didn't really work. Now he's lying on the sofa. He's got to shoot himself in the knee. And when the doc comes, he says he's hit the bone. He's got problems there. Dude, you're on a boat in the Nile. If you hit anything incorrectly, and believe me, you're not that bright, Simon, you hit any part of that area of your body, you will die. You're on a boat in the Nile. You've luckily got a doctor on there. How fortunate. But it's in the middle of nowhere. There's no hospital for you. You could die. So really, that's the way you're gonna fake that by shooting yourself. Oh, and then he supposedly hits a bone. It's his knee. The dude might be in a wheelchair the rest of his life. Was that really worth it? Is that the way you're gonna shoot yourself? So I'm like kind of dumbfounded over that. Okay, so anyway, he does that. So he's not suspected, right? And then we go on to the other issues. Okay, so now they have been seen, though, So he's been seen, so they have to get rid of one by cutting her throat and shooting another one. I say, she's really good at killing people. But this cracked me up. But then she puts a cobra in with Poirot. Where the hell did she get a cobra? Somebody tell me where she got a cobra. She's on a boat in the Nile. Cobras aren't hanging around there. What? She somewhere back in Cairo or one of the other stops along the way, at Abu Simbel or someplace. She just happened to find a cobra lying around. It's a big, big cobra too. It's not a little cobra, big cobra. She just happened to find one around to chuck, and she's like carrying it around. What, in her purse? Really? Okay, so this is ridiculous. So we have a ridiculous crime scene where she's shooting him and faking it, and then he's running to kill his wife, and then there's all this, and then everybody sees things, so everybody gets killed, and then there's cobras showing up. I mean, everything is just so overwhelmingly stupid that chances of getting away with this is so minimal. And on top of that, you're going to have probably be on in a wheelchair the rest of your life. So all of this is stupid. Now, what should you do? What would a real normal person do? And make a very short book. Okay, let's go back to the pyramids. Now, they are in Cairo. They show this whole scene where they're like walking, like he's helping her up all the steps of this pyramid. It's way up to the top of the pyramid. Dude, push her off. Push her off the pyramid. People die from falling off the pyramids, and that's why they stopped that and don't allow it anymore. Back in those days, you push somebody off a pyramid, they fall. Do you think they're going to get a huge police investigation? Prove anything? Oh no, she fell off the pyramid. Oh no, my wife fell off the pyramid. That's how you do it. Done deal. Don't have to worry about the guns and the snakes and the witnesses and shooting your own dang self in the knee. None of that. Just push the woman off the pyramid. It's easy. Okay, let's say for some reason they didn't go on a pyramid. There are camels there. Okay, put her on a camel. Have something go wrong with the camel ride. Pay somebody in Egypt to knock her off, in an accident. You're in Egypt. You could probably do something back in those days if you had money. But no, instead of just pushing the woman off the pyramid or finding some other quick way to do her in, no, you're going to get on a boat and you're going to have this very ridiculous, completely nonsensical way of killing off your wife, which has almost zero chance of succeeding, even if Poirot weren't on the boat with you. So, I mean, it's the thing just made me laugh. I just kept going, what? What? Okay, so I know Agatha Christie. She likes to write a book with all kinds of twists and turns. And so if you love that kind of thing and you don't have an issue with the parts where you go, that don't really make sense, you might have fun with it, and you might have fun with the movie. And obviously, since I put spoilers in here, you already saw the movie. I hope you enjoyed it. As I say, as a profiler, just kind of made me laugh. And so, as I say, I'm a Sherlock Holmes fan. Absolutely. Sherlock Holmes is the father of deductive criminal profiling, which is the style of profiling I do. And everything is based on evidence. And I'm not too big on crazy scenarios. However, having said that, I am a fan of Death in Paradise. I am a fan of Psych. And believe me, those are a little overly intricate too. Like, this probably wouldn't happen. But they're short shows and I have fun with them. So I can just go along with the program sometimes. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that to you because I just saw the movie and, it's, I have to point out one more thing. The old movie, okay, I got to point this out just because this really drove me nuts. So this has nothing to do with profiling, but I've been in Egypt. I spent time in Egypt. And so as I spent time in Egypt, I'm watching the new movie and I'm going, this does not feel like Egypt. None of the scenes in this movie feel like Egypt. Why am I having an issue with this? Why does everything feel fake to me? And then I watched this movie, the old movie, and it all felt real to me. I'm like, yeah, that feels like Cairo. That feels like Abu Simbel. That feels like Luxor. It feels that everything felt right. Turns out this was filmed in Egypt. This was filmed in England on fake sets. So I could tell the difference. It was just something off about the whole thing. So in my opinion, I like this movie better just because it really felt like Egypt. The story was still a little silly, but I preferred this movie. And it's free. It's free. Just look it up on just Google it, put free in, and you'll come up with a site that you can see it for free. It's not on YouTube. It's not on Prime Video or Netflix. You do it, but you can see it free. Just put in the. Maybe I'll put a link below if I get around to it, and you can just go there and watch the movie for free and enjoy. So anyway, those are my thoughts on that. Wanted to bring that to you today. So see you later.